It's all right. It's all avant-garde.
Got it.
I said that wrong.
I don't care.
Oh, okay. All right. So I am here with the most important person in sumo history, especially in America, but I dare say across the world. Go ahead and introduce yourself to the people.
My name is Katie Poirier. I am happily married to Jake Poirier of Grand Sumo Breakdown and the head of the Iowa Sumo Club. And apparently that makes me feel really important. So JJ invited me to just come and chat.
So they say behind every great man, there is a way greater woman, right? And I know I'm blessed. We all know that Jake is blessed. So go ahead and speak about what it's like in those dark nights when you're taking care of a child and just waiting for him to stop hanging out with his friends, talking about numbers and data and Japanese culture.
I do have to say, first off, I am actually one of Grand Sumo Breakdown's biggest fans. I listen to every single episode that they record, and sometimes I listen to the episodes multiple times. The dark nights are not that hard. I am a little, I will admit, jealous because it sounds like they're having so much fun, and it is Jake spending time with people who are also my friends. We all went to college together. We've known each other for a long time. So I would say I get a little bit jealous, actually, that I can't sit in and enjoy all the conversation. I am glad to be spared from Ryan's statistics and Jake's spreadsheets. I do like that I don't have to listen to all the takes for Mac's erotica stories. But Fleric is the golden child and can do no wrong.
We love you, Flair.
He is the golden child. But I think the most that I feel is just jealous that I don't get to sit in there and have the fun with them. But I'm really glad that he can do that and make that content for everybody to enjoy because I like listening to it too. I do sometimes wish that he would laugh quieter. So what you don't see out of Jake's screen is that he will put a blanket at the bottom of his door. So there's a decent gap underneath the doors in our home, And so he'll put a blanket underneath the gap of the door on his side. After I get our son to go to bed, I will put a blanket over the gap underneath his door. And we have to turn the sound machine up in his room just a little bit more on the nights when Jake's recording, just because of how much fun they end up having. So, yeah. I just basically soundproof as much of the house as I can and then try to make sure that I don't interrupt the podcast and end up on the stream.
So what I've done in my house, because, I do a podcast with my buddy Minkin, who Christina absolutely loves. I will never have those three on us three on an interview again, ever. We just can't. It was the first episode of the Minimum Effort, and it was the last time that all three of us will ever be on Minimum Effort. Maybe on something else, but never Minimum Effort, because it's chaos, and they both embrace chaos, and then it makes me go insane.
Yeah. They pull you too far in with them. They bring you right along on the ride.
Oh no, I stay on the outside and I'm like, stop, guys. And then I go back and I try to edit it and it just makes me look like Ike Turner. And I don't want to be Ike. I don't. I want to be, like Bobby Brown. I don't care if she's Whitney Houston. I stand with Bobby Brown. Bobby Brown, are you pro Bobby Brown? Pro Whitney Houston.
I'm going to go with pro Whitney. I'll admit, I think I'm being asked about a cultural reference that I don't fully understand, but I love Whitney Houston's music, so I'm definitely being asked about something I don't fully understand. So
it's
Whitney,
okay. It's okay.
Is that okay?
That's perfect.
Is that okay?
That's perfect. Both are fine answers. There is no good answer. There's only an answer.
Well, then Whitney, because I listen to her, she's...
Yes.
There you go.
She's amazing. So our situation at my house is I have to start recording at 6 o'clock in the morning, which isn't bad. I'm wide awake at that point. Christina is soundly asleep.
Good.
But for some reason, she never wakes up early. But for some reason, when the podcast is going, she wakes up and she wants to listen from the other room and chime in. Have you ever done that?
I like to text, not just Jake directly, but we have a friends group chat that has all the Grand Sumo boys and their wives and a couple other friends. And so when we are hearing the podcast and we have something to add, we will text the group chat directly. And sometimes one of the boys will be reading those messages on his computer at the same time. And especially when they're doing like a live stream, which doesn't happen very often, we are very active in those group chats. Just a lot of hazing and haranguing. But yes, we will. I want to be involved, but I just do it by pinging their phones incessantly. So they know they're getting a message from me, but they also are too polite to usually check them. But yeah, that's how us wives usually try to interrupt the podcast.
So usually this is why sumo, right? And your why sumo is because of your husband, right? So what if you could pitch to someone, like just from your experience, how to create and support such an amazing figure in American sumo, and like just being able to elevate him to who I believe should be the next president of the United States Sumo Federation, Jake Danger Poirier.
Don't tell him that. He's like the registrar right now, and he's busy enough. Oh man, I know. I believe he will someday run for president of the USSF. I would like to hold him off on that until our son is out of toddlerhood, and then you know what, do whatever you want. But I don't know. I think that like elevating someone who's involved in a community like sumo is just about, I think, growing with someone. He did not like sumo when we met or when we got married. It wasn't on the radar. But he said, hey, this is really interesting to me. And I said, honey, if this is something that brings you joy, let's bring it into our lives. Let's enjoy the community that it can create. And to be fair, we didn't know about the Amazumo community when we started. It was all about the Japanese circuit, the professional circuit. And then finding the American sumo community just changed this from something that Jake did with our buddies in our basement 3 times every 2 months to a passion and a hobby. And it's just letting someone grow as a person and supporting them trying out new hobbies. And you can end up with someone who has found their new family, kind of,
Jake, your family misses you. They love you and they support you, but they miss you.